Hello everyone, I am here in the beautiful Yosemite Valley, bringing you the first part of our Elements series, the Earth Flow. This flow will be focused around grounding postures and really helping you develop that connection with our Mother Earth. So thank you for joining me. Alright, we're going to start this flow seated in the middle of our mat. And we're just going to start with a few deep grounding breaths. We're going to take this flow a little bit slower. So take these moments at the beginning to really set an intention for your practice. What is your purpose for coming here on the mat today? What do you hope to get out of this practice? It could be a thought, it could be a mantra, or it could be a feeling. Maybe your goal is just to stay present this whole practice. Whatever it is, take time to focus on that in this moment and really start to ground yourself to this practice. Now start by making your breath intentional. Breathe in for 3 counts, and breathe out for 3 counts. Again, breathe in 1, 2, 3, and breathe out 1, 2, 3. Make your inhales match your exhales. Now we're going to take our arms up and over our head. A big reach. Then we're going to bring our right arm down and left arm up and over. This will give you a really great deep side stretch in your side body. Now we're going to switch left arm down, right arm up and over. And breathe here. Now we're going to bring our arms down and roll over onto our hands and knees in a tabletop position. And we're going to start with just a few cat-cows here. So inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Really match each pose to your inhale and your exhale. You can take it at your own pace. Now take your hips back towards your feet and come into our child's pose. This is a really great grounding pose, so anytime during the practice, if you need to come back here, please feel free. Now we're going to roll forward and come up to standing. Reach your arms up over your head. Just take a deep breath. And then come into our mountain pose. Now in each of these poses that we're holding, it's easy to let our mind wander. So it's a great practice to, while you're just standing here in mountain pose, bring your focus back to your breath. Now reach your arms up overhead and dive down to forward fold. halfway lift, come back down and step backwards to plank, down to chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then push backwards to downward facing dog. Now for this first downward dog of the day, you can keep your knees bent if you need to, and just try pedaling out those feet. Really warm up the hamstrings and the calf muscles. Then come to stillness and try and drive the heels towards the ground for that nice deep stretch. Now we're going to come forward and bring your left leg to low lunge. Now step back, right leg to low lunge. And come up with your arms to our warrior one. This, you really want to make sure your hips stay square towards the front of your mat. So try and push that left hip forward if you need to. Now we're going to take our hands, clasp them behind you, and bend down towards our humble warrior. So this is a really great stretch in your arms and your front chest area, as well as a stretch for your right leg. Now come on up with your chest. And pivot your back heel towards your warrior two. So your back foot should be parallel with the back of your mat, and front foot should be facing forwards. Now reach forward with your arms and tip back towards our peaceful warrior. Reach back. Now come with your right arm towards that leg, left arm up and over for our extended side angle. Now inhale, come up to star. Exhale, tip forward at the hips, come all the way down for our wide-legged forward fold. You can keep your hands on the mat, on your knees, or maybe reaching toward each ankle. Now we're going to pivot towards the back of your mat and come into plank, then down to chaturanga, and then take your flow. Alright, in downward facing dog, we're now going to reach our left leg forward this time towards a low lunge, then lift up towards warrior one. Take a breath here. And again, we're going to clasp our arms behind us and tip forward to our humble warrior. Deep stretch. So make sure you keep staying with your even inhale and exhale. Come back up with your chest, and we're going to pivot again towards our warrior two. Your hips are also square here towards the long edge of your mat. And reach forward and tip that left arm back towards our peaceful warrior. Really reach with that left arm. Get a deep stretch in your side body. Now come down with that left arm towards your left leg, right arm up over your head for our extended side angle. Now come back up to warrior two. Pivot, we're going to take another wide-legged forward fold. Come up halfway with your back. Now we're going to pivot to back towards the front of our mat, step back towards plank, down to chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then push back, downward facing dog. Now step forward to the front of your mat into a nice deep forward fold. Reach your arms up over your head, down to mountain pose. Now we're going to come down with our hips toward our chair pose. So try and get low with your hips to get that nice burn in your quads. You can keep your hands towards your heart or keep them up right out in front of you, whichever you prefer. With each inhale, try and go a little bit deeper. Now stand back up toward mountain pose. Come back down one more time for chair. We're going to tip forward to a forward fold. Bring your arms back up. Now we're going to come to our tree pose. So take your left leg and bring it towards the inside of your thigh. Or it can be the inside of your calf, or just pointed down on the ground, whichever you prefer, whichever is best for you. But don't put any pressure on your knee. Okay. Now find a point of focus. Just breathe. And now we're going to come back down and switch towards the right side. So right leg to your inner thigh or calf, or propped on the ground. Tree pose is a great pose for grounding and centering yourself with the earth. All right, now we're going to just shake our legs out after that nice balance. Then hands back towards your mat. And we're going to step back towards plank and then take your flow. We're going to bring our knees down to the mat and come into a seated position, and then stretch your legs all the way out in front of you for a seated forward fold. Now today you might have your hands just on your knees, maybe on your shins, or maybe all the way out towards your toes. There's no pressure to go farther than you feel comfortable. It should not be painful in any of these postures. If it's painful, your body's telling you to take a step back. Okay. So now take your arms all the way up overhead. Come back down for another brief moment of our forward fold. Now come bring the feet together back towards your sit bones. We're going to come into a seated butterfly pose for a few breaths. Again, there's no pressure to make this stretch deeper than is comfortable. Okay, now bring your knees together, and we're going to lay all the way back down onto our mat now for our final pose of the day, Savasana. So we'll be here for a few moments and really take this time to recenter yourself on your intention of your practice today. You can keep your hands down at your side, or maybe one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. mind does start to wander, that is perfectly okay. Just gently bring your focus back to your breath. And if you'd like to finish with me, we're just going to slowly come out of our Savasana. And again, I want to thank you for practicing with me today. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you again soon.